It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We welcome to our microphones the newly re-elected chairman of the Arizona Republican Party, our very good friend, Gina Swoboda. Welcome, Gina.
Thank you, Michael. It's great to be with you.
Well, we're delighted to have you here. And so first, congratulations on being re-elected. You just won 57% of the vote on Saturday, an overwhelming victory for you, and basically a confirmation of what a great job you've done. You were endorsed by President Trump, and you brought Arizona in by, 5 or 6 points in the 2024 election for President Trump. So congratulations on that victory, Gina.
Thank you. Yes, that's right. Of all the swing states, Arizona had the highest margin. We were late, but we were worth the wait. We were almost 6 points. So that's over 158,000 vote margin in a state that in 2020 we lost by a little under 11,000 votes. So it was a huge swing. You know what I say, Michael, the Constitution is the product that sells itself. And people will come if you give them a candidate that they can believe in. And so President Trump did accomplish that. And we're very proud to have delivered it.
Well, and a lot of that, frankly, was attributable to your organizational skills, Gina. And you did a great job. Now, for our listeners around the country right now, and particularly for our listeners in Tennessee, we are so similar and yet so different to Arizona. Similar in population size and electoral college votes. We have 11 electoral college votes in Tennessee. Arizona has 11 electoral college votes. We have about the same population, I think about 6.5 million, something like that. You have a lot more land out there, but we have 95 counties. You have 12. One of your counties, Maricopa, makes up 60% of the state. We only elect here in Tennessee one statewide office, governor. But in Arizona, oh my goodness, governor, attorney general, treasurer, secretary of state, instructor of public instruction. Who else? Have I missed somebody?
Yeah, we have a corporation commission. They're responsible for securities trading, for power, for water. There are 5 seats on that board. We have a mine inspector. We have a lot of statewide races. Arizona has, in my experience, I love national election policy and reform, more elected offices that are directly put on the ballot than virtually any other state. And that's one of the reasons our ballot is so long. In 2022, which is when we had the last time we had the statewide races up, the governor, the AG, the treasurer, et cetera, Maricopa County had 83 races on the ballot because we also vote on our judges. So we have our entire legislature, our judges, and this cycle, Michael, as we've discussed, is our chance in Arizona to take back the executive branch. We must get back the governor, the AG, and the secretary of state. We have to help President Trump to do the things that the American people gave him a mandate to do. And for Arizona, that means taking back this executive branch. And that's a core mission for the AZ GOP in this cycle.
Now, in the Arizona structure of the Arizona Republican Party, when you explained it to me, I kind of said, oh, my goodness, because here in Tennessee, we've got 70 members of the executive committee, and they're the ones that select the chairman. In Arizona, you have 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 voters who pick the chairman. Is that right?
1,927, yes. So our state committeemen select our officers. They have a vote. We're a grassroots state, and as is appropriate, every one of our state committeemen get to cast their ballot to choose who they want to be their state party chair. The way our structure works is we have one precinct committeeman for every 125 Republican voters in a precinct. And then we have one state committeeman for every 3 precinct committeemen. And each of those state committeemen come to our statutory meeting in the odd year, the one we just had, and they get to vote for their chair, their secretary, their treasurer, and then their members at large in their congressional districts. And then in the even year, they do first, second, third vice chair. And that's how we kind of stagger the election. So
you've got
we had 92% turnout in
wow
my election on Saturday. It was great. It was great.
It's very highly engaged, and so you have you have a 2-year term?
Yes.
Okay.
This will be I filled in. The former chair left unexpectedly, and I filled in his year, and now this is a full 2-year term for me.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that. That you filled in for the previous. It makes sense because it's a 2-year cycle. You've got all of these statewide offices. The other little peculiarity or difference, shall we say, in Arizona is the way you elect members of your House of Representatives. Now, here in Tennessee, we have 99 members of the House of Representatives, each with one geographic district. We have 33 state senators. Describe a little bit how many members of the House you have in Arizona, how they're elected, and how many members of the state Senate you have, and how they're elected.
Sure. We have 60 in the House. We have 30 in the Senate. There are 2 House representatives for every legislative district and 1 senator. And they are all on the ballot every 2 years. That's a direct election by the people of Arizona.
So for instance, the districts are the same. Each district will have 1 state senator and 2 state reps. And so you'll have multiple candidates in the state house election, and the top 2 are elected. Is that how it works?
Correct. That's exactly how it works.
Wow, that's interesting. So you've got a lot of balls in the air that you got to juggle at the same time, don't you?
I do. The Democrat Party tends to all like row in one direction, and they're kind of lemming-like in their behavior, which they ran right off the cliff. So there's a lot of positives about that. And as Republicans, we're very liberty-minded people. We go our own way. We don't owe anybody our vote. So, and it's very important. Like when we get in our primaries, okay, our state party has no business intervening in a primary, putting their finger on the scale, selecting a nominee, discouraging someone from running. None of that. There's no smoke-filled back room. God bless my predecessor talking about boys back east or some such nonsense on a tape. That's not happening in this Arizona Republican Party. We actually have a bylaw because in the 22 cycle in the gubernatorial race, a prior chair endorsed essentially one of the nominees in the primary for governor, and that creates a lack of trust. People feel like the party has a bias, and that's not right. It's the voters. The Republican voters will decide who the nominee is that comes out of a primary. So for my part, sitting in the chair, my job all of 2025 and all the way through my election, my primary election is rather late compared to other states. It's the first Tuesday in August. So from now until the first Tuesday in August, my job is to just beat the heck out of the left and their candidates every single day. As I always say, to make them as squishy on the outside as they are on the inside. And then and only then, after my primary, we're going to do a hard pivot and just start amping up the messaging of whatever nominee that the primary voters give me. It's up to them. It is not up to us, and we shouldn't be interfering in any way.
Yeah, you should not be picking, which candidate wins the primary for these various statewide offices. Now, by the way, you remind me of this. Another similarity between Arizona and Tennessee. Your primary elections are held on every first Tuesday in August. Do you know what we in Tennessee, and I've lived here now, 33 years. I've never been able to figure out the historic reason for this. We hold our primary elections on the first Thursday in August. Now, deep in the history of the state, there's a reason for it. I've never uncovered that reason.
Well, we've tried to move our primary, and we moved it temporarily just for this last primary. We moved it from the first Tuesday to the last week of July. And the reason we did that is to get our electors to Congress in time, because we're a swing state. If we got into a recount, we'd have trouble.
Gina, hang through this break. It's a 3-minute break. Hang through it. I want to come back and let's talk about, the blocking and tackling that a state party chair does so that whoever emerges from the primary is going to have the very best chance of winning the general. We'll be right back with Gina Swoboda, chairman of the Arizona Republican Party, after this.
folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We're talking with our very good friend, the chairman of the Arizona Republican Party, Gina Swoboda. Gina, you have quite a task there because the primaries are coming up in August of 2026. You have multiple state races. The gubernatorial race, of course, is always hotly contested. We'll get to that in a bit. But you also have, in Arizona, you've got this independent Western spirit, shall we say, right? And so you've got folks, I guess you would call them the McCain people then you've got some national groups and local groups. They all passionately believe in their candidate in the primary. And these things, a lot of sharp elbows get thrown, a lot of hard feelings. As that's going on, how do you build a unified party?
Thank you, Michael. So that is very true. The Western states, and Arizona in particular, we're like these small L libertarian, liberty-minded folks, right? Very independent, fierce spirit. State 48 for a reason. We joined when Nevada kind of stole Colorado River from us. And we were like, hey, maybe we should become a state. They just keep taking pieces off our territory. That all being said, one of the things I'm most proud of what we did in 24 is we held these coalitions together long enough to just pull in the same direction and get over the finish line and land the plane. And I think that what we demonstrated in the last election cycle is, and I'm going to generalize, this isn't meant to offend anyone, but it's convenient language for the purposes of the discussion. The donor class, the establishment class, the grassroots of the party, the hardcore conservatives that are like, this is who I am. These are my values. This is my soul. I'm not doing any kind of partial. Okay. We have great respect and appreciation for them. We are united, unstoppable. If we kill each other on the way there, then it's easy for the left to roll us. But there is a time for the fight, and the time for the fight is for all of these groups to advocate fiercely, as we know that they will, in their primary. But to your point, while that's going on, I have to register voters. I have to make sure that I'm securing the election. You know what I'm passionate about election integrity. You know this about me. One of the things that happened in previous cycles is we didn't start arguing about the process until we got into the election, and you can't do that. When you do that, it's latches and you lose. So this year,
hold on just a minute.
Is the year. Yeah.
Now, this is an important thing you just said. I think you just said, when you do that, it's latches and you lose. Did I get that right?
Correct.
Tell everybody what latches is. It's a legal concept. Tell everybody what that is.
Latches is judicial speak for if you didn't like the way that these election officials, in the case of an election case, were planning to administer this election, you had a duty to come to the court and argue about it before the process started. Once the process starts, even if you're right, Gina, even if you think the county's doing something wrong, Gina, it's too late now because things are underway and you didn't get to us when you should have. And so now we're not going to hear your case. Latches. Late. You're late in Latin.
And that is something that you have been able to sort of anticipate what these legal challenges might be and do the work in advance so that, and I know, I'm not even going to talk, I mean, people know who the candidates are, likely candidates. Let's take the gubernatorial race. You've got candidate A, you've got candidate B, maybe you'll have candidate C, maybe you'll have candidate D, and they're all focused on winning in the primary in that first week of August. But if they're just focused on that and they're not paying attention to all this blocking and tackling that you have to do so that they win in November, it's all for naught. And I think that's a very important element in terms of understanding the job that you have as chairman of the Arizona Republican Party.
Thank you. That's right. A candidate doesn't have the time, the druthers, the financial wherewithal to stop focusing on winning their primary so they can be the nominee and instead look at, how do the counties process absentee ballot applications? Just random example. There was an issue in Pima where the Pima County Recorder just unilaterally decided to stop processing absentee ballot applications, which we in Arizona call early ballots. About 80% of our folks get these ballots through the mail. She was just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm really busy. I have a lot going on. I'm just not going to process them anymore. Well, that's a problem because she's statutorily required to process them. And again, if we had litigated, I went to the legal team, our brilliant legal team. We worked in cooperation with the Trump campaign and the RNC as we got close to the election. It was too late at the time that she did that. Well, now that we know that that's what she's going to do, I need to litigate that now in 2025 to make sure I have an order that forces her to adhere to the law in 2026 so that when people, if they do choose not to vote on election day, if they are one of the 80% of the people that would like to vote by mail, that they get that ballot and they have that opportunity. So that's a perfect example of something that I'm going to do in this year while our candidates are battling it out for voter support in a primary.
Typically, I guess in the recent past, Maricopa County, which I guess is like 60% of the population of the state, the largest, it's almost a state unto itself, or at least they think that, right? Sometimes. The relationship between the Arizona Republican Party and the Maricopa County electoral process, they call it what, the register there? What's the name? The recorder. The recorder.
Yeah, recorder.
You've got a new one there this time around. I think that relationship is headed to a more cooperative one in the upcoming elections. Would you say that's an accurate statement?
I would. We're ecstatic that Justin Heath, who is a member of our state Freedom Caucus in our House of Representatives, has been elected Maricopa County Recorder. Likewise, so the recorder in Arizona is responsible for nothing big, all the voter registration, all of the mail ballots that are going out. That's kind of huge, right? So that's on Recorder Heath's side. Then election day operations and on-site early voting are controlled by my board of supervisors in Maricopa. And like Mr. Heath, I have 3 new Republicans on the Board of Supervisors, and my 4th Republican that was already on the board they have come to us in the legislature and they have asked us to run a bill. I could not be happier. The bill is SB 1011. And that bill, which is being run by President Peterson, and there's a mirror bill over on the House side with the Freedom Caucus members of the House and my Freedom Caucus members here on the Senate side. So this bill will allow Maricopa to use all of the public schools as polling locations, which is huge. Right now, the statute lets the principal go, oh, never mind, I don't know, it's a Tuesday, I don't want people to vote. That's a problem, then we can't find locations. There are many things in that bill. A huge thing, Michael, in that bill, you can't take your early ballot, remember, it's supposed to be early, your mail ballot, walk it in on election day and drop it off on site. When voters do that, that's what's taking 2 weeks. So this bill will eliminate the ability to do that. You have until Friday before election day if you want to drop it off. If you don't do that, you have to walk in, show ID, open the envelope. If you're in Maricopa, you're going to tabulate it. And if you're in a county that doesn't tabulate it, you're going to drop what I call the naked ballot in the secure drop box, and they'll hold your envelope. But that way, we're not picking them up, taking them to a vendor, signature verification, open up the envelope. It's a whole lot of rigmarole. It's not good for chain of custody the other way, and it slows us down. And slow results decrease confidence, and we all know it. The people of Arizona have had enough, and I'm very pleased to report that both our amazing new county recorder in Maricopa and our wonderful Board of Supervisors in Maricopa are on board President Peterson's SB 1011 and the House Freedom Caucus's mirror to that with Representative Hendricks and his team. We're going to get this done. We're going to send it to the governor's desk. And I expect that Governor Hobbs should respond to what the people of Arizona have asked for. We have unity with Maricopa County, and several rural counties also support this bill. If your legislative majority, your counties, your voters, and even the media, Michael, your brethren are supporting this very common sense, very procedures-based bill. She needs to sign that bill and help speed up results. We need to make Arizona election reporting timely again.
Well, look, there's a word out there to describe your excellent understanding of the electoral process in Arizona and around the country. It's called subject matter expert. And I think there's no one who is more of a subject matter expert on electoral matters than you, Gina Swoboda. Last question for you. So Donald Trump reached out and asked you to run for the partial term that you succeeded in, and then asked you to run again for this full term. Tell us a little bit about your interaction with President Trump. Did he call you up? Did he say, hey, come on over, let's share a Diet Coke? I think you're a great subject matter. What's it like dealing with Donald Trump?
I love the president. I've been in Arizona 30 years, but I'm from Queens. I think a lot like the president, and as my whole life, he's been in the landscape of my life as I've grown up. He's tremendous. So the first time, I got a call, and there were a flurry of calls over a 3-day window. And then I said, if the president wants me to do this, then the president can call me. And I was kind of being facetious. I thought it was like saying Moses can come and part the Red Sea. And then I got a call from the president, and I later found out he was on Trump Force One, which just in my mind is just blown now. I'm picturing him on Trump Force One. And he knew who I was, and he said, will you fight for me? And I said, yes. I said, I will fight like heck. I didn't say heck, for every vote that Maricopa County tries to take from us, sir. So he supported me. And the second time, the president was on stage at America Fest, which is an event put on by Turning Point and Turning Point Action. They're a great third-party organization. They do national work. They do tremendous work. They were on the ground in Phoenix. This is a huge, important celebration, and all the grassroots from across the country.
And he asked you right there.
And he was on stage, and he said, "You're running again, right?"
And
I said, "Yes, sir." That's
yes,
what
sir.
I have to say.
And on
yes,
that
sir.
note, Gina Swoboda doing such a great job in Arizona. It is a privilege to call you my friend. Gina, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Michael. God bless you. It's an honor to be with you.
All right. When we come back, we'll have more of the great Gina Swoboda. Stick around. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
the time for Tennessee to stand up for our children. They deserve a chance to succeed. President Trump and Governor Bill Lee are fighting to make that happen.
We're fighting for school choice, which really is the civil rights of all time in this country.
Every Tennessee family should have the power to choose the best education for their children.
School choice gives every family the opportunity to set their children up for success.
Educational freedom gives families the opportunity to select what works best for them. President Trump and Governor Lee understand that education freedom is not just about better education. It's about opportunity. It's about giving every child, no matter their zip code, a chance to succeed. Tennessee's time is now. It's time to make universal education freedom a reality. Stand with President Trump and Governor Lee to fight for Tennessee's children. Paid for by
fellow
Yes.
Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time. At DT McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. DT McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Hey there,
Impersonator
McGill,
not endorsed
founder
by Donald
and
Trump.
CEO of the Glock Store. As a proud sponsor of this show, you may have heard Michael Patrick Leahy mention us a few times over the past 4 years. But today, it's me on the radio telling you how pleased we are to be associated with Michael Patrick Leahy and his dedication to the highest levels of professional journalism. Michael Patrick Leahy has been threatened with jail time in bringing the true facts about that Nashville Covenant shooting to his listening audience. Michael Patrick Leahy, you keep doing what you're doing, and we here at the Glock Store will keep sponsoring your show for the good of Nashville and the entire country. And I'm personally inviting all of your listeners to come visit and shoot at the Glock Store. It's where Michael Patrick Leahy learned to shoot a gun for the first time and where he bought his own personal Glock 19. I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store here in Nashville, just minutes from the airports, worth the drive from anywhere, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy and the Tennessee Star Report.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Lots going on here in Tennessee today. The Tennessee General Assembly convening. They are, in fact, addressing the special session and the three issues that Governor Bill Lee has asked them to act on: universal school choice, the Tennessee Education Freedom Act, help for the hurricane victims in East Tennessee, and help for illegal immigration enforcement of Donald J. Trump. On that topic, a couple things to talk about here. Let's go to Stephen Miller and Jake Tapper. They had a little mix-up the other day, yesterday, talking about enforcement of the illegal immigration executive orders of Donald J. Trump. Here we go. Clip 14, Stephen Miller and Jake Tapper.
There's 2 million employees in the federal government. Overwhelmingly, the career federal service in this country is far left wing. The American people.
I don't know that to be a fact.
Well, I'll give you a great example. We looked at USAID as an example.
That's
98% of the workforce either donated to Kamala Harris or another left-wing candidate, just as an example.
Okay, but
let me just
an entire workforce as having a
whoa. Did you just say that saying someone voted for Kamala Harris is demonizing them?
No.
So according
your suggestion is that there's a bias.
No, but you used the word demonizing. You just said that I'm demonizing somebody by saying they voted for Kamala Harris.
Let's get back on track.
But I am on track.
Okay.
Let me stay on track. What I'm saying to you is this: there are 2 million employees in the federal government.
Right.
They're overwhelmingly left of center. The American people, I got to finish the sentence.
Okay.
I got to finish the sentence. The American people voted for dramatic change implemented by Donald Trump. So it is a...
Okay, so the other clip, which we didn't have, the follow-up on that was, and by the way, I love this interaction between Jake Tapper and Stephen Miller. Miller's not letting him getting away with anything. The subsequent clip, which was on the immigration issue, I wanted to chat with you about a little bit here. The subsequent clip was, in essence, Jake Tapper said, "Hey, Stephen, if we deport all these illegal, nobody's going to pick our blueberries." And Stephen said, actually, of all the illegal aliens in the country, only 1% are out picking I think he said, only 1% of them are out there picking your vegetables and your fruits, Jake. The rest of them are living in cities, living off taxpayer dollars. And so that argument doesn't hold any water. I thought that was very, very good. We've got a clip here also I wanted to play. Now, it's in Spanish, so obviously you're not going to be able to understand it a lot, but I will talk you through it. It's clip 15. This is illegals who who actually did land in Colombia, and in essence, that we'll play this, and I'll pause it and translate it a little bit for you as we go through. And an illegal who landed in Colombia basically said, "Oh no, don't go to the United States anymore. They've got all this army around the borders, and they're going to be mean to you, and they're going to send you back." Here we go, clip 15.
¿Cómo fue el trato desde el principio?
Terrible.
Okay, so what they were saying is, how were you treated there? And she said, terrible. This is your typical mainstream media appearance on this. Here's a woman holding a baby, right? This is, of course, they're not featuring the killers who came back. They're not featuring the rapists. They're featuring this woman holding a baby. So the question was, how are you treated? Terrible, she says. Keep rolling.
Con mi bebé, casi me robaron en México, me robaron todos los documentos, el celular, casi se roban a mi bebé.
Okay, so basically what she's saying here is the conditions were terrible. She went on to say, "Oh no, don't go up there. It'll be tough for you." Now look, this is part of the messaging. This is part of the messaging that's coming from the Biden administration and from the Trump administration, rather, which is don't go there. Don't go there at all. And I think this is great. We've seen immigration numbers, the number of people crossing the border. There's a chart that shows day by day. I think it was like, 10,000 were crossing on January 19th. And it went down to like 1,000 on January 20th. Only half a day of Trump. And the 21st ever since has been less than 500. That is what you call success. Now, I want to bring up another clip on the theme of success. We've got, Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta, this is clip 18. Jim Acosta just left CNN. And we played this earlier in the day. He's the CNN reporter who's a lefty who hates Donald Trump and has used that as a platform to hate Donald Trump. I got to play. Who's winning now, Jim? This was Acosta in a clip in January of 2021 talking about Donald Trump. I just have to play this because it's just too much fun. Here we go.
You are not well, sir. You need to get over this. Same goes for the GOP. It's as if much of the Republican Party is trapped in a Jimmy Buffett tune. Wasting away again in Mar-a-Lagoville. Looking for that next election to assault. Some people claim that there is an orange man to blame, but I know it's my own damn fault. Hey, I was thinking about Bedminster Rhapsody. Oh, Margarita, let me go. But I digress. Listen, Trump's life, it's like a country music song. He's lost the House, he's lost the Senate, he's lost the White House, his website. If he had a dog, the dog would leave him too.
Okay, that was Jim Acosta in January of 2021. Guess what, Jim? You lost the House. You lost the Senate. You lost the presidency. You lost your job. Okay. So I hope you still have your dog. Turnabout's fair play. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about here before we get to our news potpourri segment, there's a very interesting dynamic playing out right now, which has to do, I think, with the unifying of the country around the Trump agenda. And I think nothing illustrates that more than Meghan McCain, who, as you know, there was a huge antipathy between, that's a polite way of describing mutual hatred. There was huge antipathy between Donald Trump and John McCain. And McCain, of course, well known for kind of leading the McCain faction, if you will, in the state of Arizona. He's, of course, since passed away. But his youngest daughter is Meghan McCain. And Meghan has been, prominent as sort of a, I don't know if you call her never Trumper, but anti-Trumper for a long time, until the assassination attempt that failed on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, this time around. And she now has totally flipped, and she's supportive of Donald Trump. She's supportive also and good friends with Tulsi Gabbard. As you know, right now, today, as we speak, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is testifying before a Senate committee. And the left is doing their typical, when did you stop beating your wife against them? And Kennedy, I think, is pretty much holding his own. That's one of the nominations that's still out and in question. The other nomination is Pam Bondi for Attorney General, Kash Patel for the FBI Director, and Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Meghan McCain has a word or two to say about Tulsi Gabbard. Here we are. We're going with this clip with Meghan McCain.
Yes, and I think, my frustration right now is President Trump was handily elected with a mandate from the American public, and that mandate is loud and clear about change and extreme change. They did not elect Mitch McConnell. They did not elect Lisa Murkowski, and I don't understand how his mandate could possibly stop by a few people that have very different ideas than the American public. As you talked about earlier, I weirdly went viral for saying I support so many of Trump's policies. A lot of this is not about personal issues with Trump. It's about what's good for the American public and the American people, and there is no one that is better suited for this moment in time than Tulsi in the DNI position. And I've just been, like I said, I've been really, really upset at just the dastardly commentary coming from a lot of people, but Republicans in general, shame on you for saying those type of things about an active duty woman in the military.
Yeah, pretty bad. Hey, we've got some breaking news that I want to share with you. It is pretty good news. Today, as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is appearing for his confirmation hearings, there is news that the Senate Judiciary Committee, this was from just a few minutes ago, this is from German-owned Politico. Donald Trump's Attorney General nominee, Pam Bondi, who represented the president during his first impeachment trial, was voted out of the Senate Judiciary Committee on Wednesday morning in a pure party line vote, 12-10. The former Attorney General is expected to be confirmed on the Senate floor. Her confirmation hearing earlier this month went fairly smoothly, so much so that Democrats repeatedly attacked Trump's pick to run the FBI, Kash Patel, who was not even in the room and will have his own confirmation hearing Thursday morning. That's tomorrow. That will be very, very interesting. Now, what I thought was interesting about this in the Judiciary Committee, it was a straight party line vote. This suggests to me that when this is brought before the full Senate, that she will be confirmed in a straight party line vote. Why do I say that? Well, remember, Pete Hegseth was confirmed 51-50. It was 50-50 because three Republicans, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, and Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, voted against her confirmation, and it required Vice President J.D. Vance, the dramatic entrance. He had his van, his entourage that came from the Naval Observatory, came over to see him, and he cast a vote, and he won 51-50. Now, terrific. I think Texas is going to be a great Secretary of Defense. I don't see in the full Senate vote, I don't see Susan Collins voting against a female candidate for Attorney General. I don't see Lisa Murkowski voting against a female candidate for conservative for Attorney General, who's got a terrific track record. I mean, this is she's a well-respected attorney. She served as Attorney General for Florida for, I think, 2 terms. She has excellent private practice. She handled all of her confirmation hearings very, very well. The questions very, very well. And I don't see Collins voting against her. I don't see Murkowski voting against her, and I don't see Mitch McConnell voting against her. I think that it's likely today or tomorrow that we'll see the Senate confirming her in a 53-47 vote. What does that mean? It means that we're going to set up the drama. The remaining drama is on 3 nominees. Kash Patel at FBI. His confirmation hearing begins on Thursday. RFK Jr. doing his confirmation hearing now. And then I think next week it'll be Tulsi Gabbard. Those 3, it'll be dicey. I think that Trump's got a good chance of getting them all. We'll be back with News Potpourri after we get back. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. It's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Why is it that schmaltzy music always makes me happy? I don't know why. It's just so corny. I love it. All right. Yes, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program we talk about those stories of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and may have a touch of irony. I just have to throw this out because I think it's sort of an illustration of how awful the Democrat Party is and how awful the dinosaurs of that kind of corrupt way of doing political business are. This is from the Daily Mail, but it's all over the place. America's worst mayor, Tiffany Henyard, joined in a wild brawl at a community meeting. Because nothing says dignity of a mayor like joining a brawl. And it's crazy. I don't know how she's still in office. America's worst mayor joined in a chaotic brawl that erupted at a town meeting yesterday after an activist called for her removal. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dolton Village in Illinois, I think it's kind of like a suburb of Chicago, and a supervisor of the nearby Thornton Township, was thrown to the floor in a tussle Tuesday night that broke out after her boyfriend rushed to defend her honor. The saga began when activist Jedediah Brown, a frequent critic of Henyard, took to the podium and launched an aggressive tirade at the mayor that ended with him calling her a certain word that starts with B. Anyways, so the boyfriend then jumped in. The guy accused her of sleeping her way to the top, being another bad word, mayor. And so then basically he asked the room to vote on a measure to replace Henyard's boyfriend, Kamal Woods, and ally William Moore on paid administrative leave from the town. I don't know what Kamal Woods, but he's her boyfriend. Woods allegedly made six figures to run the township's at-risk youth program before getting ordered on paid leave. Anyways, so he took exception to, and a melee followed. And in the melee that followed, her wig came off. I don't know. Nothing says dignity like being an elected public official, getting in a melee and having your wig fall off. Look, I don't think that's going to end well for her, but okay. Now, there was also, speaking of melees, I don't know if you saw this, in Memphis, there was a meeting of the Memphis Public School Board. And remember, these are the people, they're elected, and then they brought in a new school superintendent, and she was looking into where some of the money was being spent, and they didn't like it, and after 8 months they fired her, and probably violated innumerable laws in the way they fired her. But there was a public meeting last night down there. Oh my goodness. That public meeting also devolved into chaos in Memphis, Tennessee. And the school board called in. There was a professor who was criticizing the board's firing of the previous school director. And they called in the police, and they dragged off this professor, and the whole thing was undignified. And that is exactly what happened there. Now, other things to talk about here. The hearings today in Washington, D.C., there was one word that dominated it, according to German-owned Politico. That word, vaccine. We got that going on. Also, another story out there. Have you seen the story about the Chinese company that's come up with a new version of AI that even Mark Andreessen says is pretty good? And as a result, NVIDIA, the big chip maker, their stock price fell dramatically. It was all pretty interesting. The story on that, however, is a lot of what they did in AI was to take our intellectual property. And remember, Donald Trump, as president, had put together an executive order stopping the theft of this intellectual property. And Joe Biden changed that. So we got that going on as well. Oh, hey, here's the other thing. Did you see what Dr. Phil's doing? This is fascinating. Dr. Phil, man of action, is going on Ice Rage with Tom Homan and reporting on it. I got to tell you, I think that's been very, very effective. Very, very effective. So kudos to him on that. And you've seen also that with Kristi Noem doing that. Oh, hey, here's a news story. Interesting, with something that I don't think you would be surprised. It's about what's going on in Maine. This is from our friends. Peter Robinson does this, the Maine Wire. Records show legal and illegal aliens are voting in Maine and costing MaineCare, that's their version of Medicare, I guess, a fortune. Here we go. This is the story. As many as 40% of the non-citizens present in Maine, including those who entered the U.S. illegally and those with legal alien status, may have voted in the 2024 elections or had votes cast in their names, according to records obtained and reviewed by the Maine Wire. That figure is based on a collection of MaineCare records obtained by the Maine Wire, as well as voter data from the Central Voter Registration System maintained by Maine's Secretary of State. Well, let's think about this. If you are not a citizen, even if you are entered into the United States legally, and you vote, you have violated not only state laws, but you've violated federal laws. And now Tom Homan and Kristi Noem will have two reasons to deport you. Number one, you committed a misdemeanor by entering illegally. And number two, you committed a felony by illegally voting. We'll keep you posted on that. That's our show today. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, same time, same place. I hope you have a great day. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Go to our website, TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. Back tomorrow. Have a great day.
I'm Governor Bill Lee, and I want to talk to you about an important education bill in Tennessee. Everyone knows that education has the power to change the trajectory of a child's life forever. And anyone who's raised a child knows that each one's different in their educational needs, and their learning styles, and their talents. The fact is, parents know their own children best. They know what's best for their education and their future. That's why I'm here to talk to you about Tennessee's Education Freedom Act. It empowers parents across our state to use their tax dollars to choose the school that allows their child to thrive, regardless of zip code or income, all while making significant investments in Tennessee's public education. If you want to learn how you can help make the Education Freedom Act a reality in Tennessee, go to educationfreedomact.com and write or call your state representatives. It's educationfreedomact.com.
This ad is
The
paid
Chief
for by
Team
Job
reminds
Creators
listeners
Network.
here that more and more veterans will be returning home over the next few years, and many are local. These heroes have elite military training and valuable professional skills, but they also need jobs too. That's why the Chief Team is encouraging all local businesses. Let's make it the year we hire smart and hire veterans. That's from the Chief Team, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. For more information, call 931-444-3572. That's 931-444-3572 for the Chief Team in Clarksville.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music.
PBS presents a new series hosted by Henry Louis Gates Jr., Gospel.
Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
Gospel is a prayer. It is our heart's cry to God in lyrics and song.
You feel it deep down in your soul. Gospel. Streaming now on the PBS app.